characters and our performances to life in the final film.
So, you hate Mexican food, huh?
Yeah, you too, huh?
Yeah, in fact, you might say I started hating it first.
What we do is we take the data that's captured on the stage of the performers walking around, acting, doing the movie, and take that digitized information and create animation out of it. Right here we have video from the stage. The stage is set up with 200 motion capture cameras. The actors have 80 markers on their bodies and 72 markers on their faces to track all the performance of their hands, their face, every nuance of their blinks and smiles. In the video here, you can actually see in the background, these are our motion capture cameras. What happens is the cameras see the marker, and what gets digitized is only the markers. We don't see the color of the person's suit, we don't see their makeup, their hair, anything else. We just see the markers, which gives us the motion. It gives us how the person's moving and what they're doing. When we take that data from all 200 cameras, we bring it into a computer and create the 3D animation. We do that for all the body markers, and separately we do it for the face markers too. And again, this is 3D information where we can rotate around this in any way. We can see it from any angle. We can see it from inside the person's head. At the very end of our process, we take the marker cloud that is all clean, has no gaps, and actually apply a skeleton to it. So this is starting to create an actual relationship between those markers, similar to a human skeleton, where there's bones that have relationships. The next department will actually take those bones and actually put the skin on top of them for the characters.
As an integrator, we have already received our information from tracking, which is all of the dots, as you could see, moving in space. And another goal that we have in integration is to make sure that the performance that was captured works with the props as well as the environment. In this performance, it's Chowder and DJ, which are our two hero characters, and they're getting into a little scuffle in the bedroom. So right now, we've only got marker data, but what we do with the marker data is we then apply this to the skeletons of our characters in 3D space. And when we have all of that retargeted, it looks something like this. The next step would be to see what it looks like on the actual geometry. You can see we have them moving exactly as the skeleton does. And one of our main goals is also to make sure that the performance that was captured is maintained as best as possible onto these characters. We don't want to lose any of the actual talent's performance. The next step would be to place these characters in their environment. So this is the entire stage for our movie. In specific, this is actually going into the bedroom of DJ's house. And this is where we place our characters in our set, and we see how they're working with the environment. Some things that we do have to take into account with the different character proportions, it may change the way that they interact with parts of the set, such as right here, you can see that DJ, his hands are actually not really on the table. And Chowder, he's actually going through the bed a little bit. So another thing we do in integration is clean these things out to make sure that it is exactly as it should be, and again, maintaining that performance.
So out of integration comes a combined set, a performance, a body, a skeleton, and the interactive props. That all comes together and then is sent on to what we call director's layout, which is the director working with a DP and setting virtual cameras, and that's oftentimes based on storyboards and combined with the performance from the motion capture stage. From there, once the camera's chosen, it's put into what we call the wheels room, or the wheels process. Well, here we're in the wheels room. We'll call it the Monster House wheels room. We've got a lot of different tools that the director and the DP can use to help compose our shots and add the kind of the final human touch. So, Brian, tell us what kind of lens we have here.
Right now we've got a 35mm lens. We can dial in any lens we want from 0 to infinity.
So once the lens is set, now you can see here as I'm controlling with the wheels, we have tilt controls moving up and down. We have pan controls here. So what's amazing about this process is it behaves just like a traditional film camera would, but it's feeding directly into the computer with our performance capture running over and over and over again in real time. To get even more dynamics and more of a handheld look, we actually have a handheld system that translates all of your motion right directly from your hand and wrist right to the camera. Traditionally, in CG features and computer-generated films, the camera moves are very perfect and programmed and have this perfection that doesn't feel so natural. And the point behind Monster House is that we're making our characters look very natural and feel like they're handmade. We want to have the same feeling in our camera work. So if we wanted to get something really dynamic, this handheld device adds a really wonderful organic element to our moves. So using all these different kind of tools where we have the wheels head, we have virtual dolly tracks, and handheld devices, bringing all of these things together and using them in different combinations allow the filmmakers to create a very human-feeling, handmade look to each shot that they're doing. And across the whole film, the whole goal is to walk away with something that you've been immersed into that doesn't have all the elements of computers and perfection that you might see in other CG features.
You can't call dibs on a girl through a telescope.
Well, you can't call dibs on a girl.
Just did.
Me too.
There's this one place in the neighborhood that you as a child are afraid to go by.
There's something going on at that house.
There was these rumors that kids who would walk by the house would suddenly vanish.
Come back, please!
We've taken that very sense of this scary house and actually given it life.
How do you create a voice of a house?
To make it real, we had to find a way to give this house a sound.
You start by thinking of the house as a living creature.
If those are the teeth and that's the tongue, then that must be the uvula.
Oh, so it's a girl house.
Everything has to be organic. It's a real neighborhood in which very unusual things happen.
What are you two weirdos up to?
Just something in the house across the street just tried to eat us.
We've gone out and actually lined the interior of a house with microphones and then tore the house down.
I had microphones mounted in a window, and I looked up, and the claws of the bulldozer were right over me.
We could actually hear what it sounds like when its roof crushes down on itself, where its windows get yanked out.
If you can find enough of those kinds of pieces and then combine those with a human voice, you really get the impression that you're hearing the house talk.
We have a ping pong table in our basement.
Gil went to New York to do a recording session with Kathleen Turner, where he actually had her watching the movie and performing sounds in sync with the movie.
You've been a bad girl, haven't you?
We had the idea to take a lot of these recordings and play them back in a real space.
The sound designers are going out and they're finding barns, getting that live house sound.
A barn is a loose enough structure so that it's going to rattle when you play a loud sound in it.
And so all the sound that's created inside the barn becomes kind of amplified and swirls around and gets distorted. You hear that?
Yep, it's my stomach. I'm starving.
It's a monster movie where the monster is the house.
The house is alive!
Anyone knows a house is a living, breathing thing. We're finally exposing these houses for what they really are. They're absolute monsters.
No question about it.